And that number is $100 trillion. It is a huge amount. Now, the reality is that over the next 20 years, circa 85 trillion is going to be transferred. So this is the largest intergenerational wealth transfer we will see in history.
Alrighty, everybody, what is going on? Welcome back to another CYPRX video banger. Buckle up your seatbelts because in today's video breakdown, I'm going to be showing you all undeniable proof that multiple banks are 110% interested in adopting and integrating digital assets and crypto into their core banking infrastructure. And they've been telling you all in the midst of all this madness on stage at recent panel discussions that have taken place that barely have any views. And so in today's video breakdown, we're going to be diving down the rabbit hole. I'm going to be physically showing you all proof from some of the world's largest banks and financial institutions, custody providers that have been recently on stage telling you guys this to be the case. This will help ease your concern via the long-term horizon that this digital asset ecosystem is still on a massive long-term trajectory to the upside. So if you all enjoy these types of video breakdowns, giving you guys clarity from a financial institutional perspective, do me a favor, smash that thumbs up button and subscribe. So first, who are we going to be listening to today? We're going to be listening to industry-leading experts, just to name a few, from Sygnum Bank. We're also going to be listening to a representative from Zodia Custody. Zodia Custody is trusted by some of the world's largest financial institutions, including Standard Chartered, Northern Trust, SBI, NAB, and Invesco, along with 21 shares, just to name a few. And then we're also going to be listening to this bank right here. I'm probably going to butcher this one, Zürcher Cantonal Bank, where they list on their website that they are the biggest cantonal bank in Switzerland and one of the biggest Swiss banks. Now, I've played video clips in the past of representatives from large financial institutions mentioning that they are integrating crypto into their core banking infrastructure.
Yeah, on the side of the banks, as we are quite fortunate, as I mentioned, many of the traditional banks are now already adopted cryptocurrencies into their core banking systems.
But today's video breakdown is going to be an extra added layer of confirmation that these large financial institutions are 110% entering into the digital asset ecosystem, and that this most recent market uncertainty is nothing to be fearful of and instead should be viewed as a massive discounted opportunity, considering what it is that I'm going to share with you guys today. Keep in mind that all of the video breakdowns that I'm going to display with you guys today have less than 1,000 views. If you combine all the views together from each of these panel discussions that recently have dropped in the past couple of weeks from this year in 2025, hardly anybody is paying attention to this. People are paying way too much attention to the fear narrative right now that's being pumped throughout the market. You need to stay focused. You need to stay dialed in because they are, for a fact, building out a new financial infrastructure. And we are on the precipice of seeing the biggest wealth transformation that we have ever seen in our lifetimes.
And this is the third aspect that I want to talk about, which is the greatest wealth transfer in history. And what I'd like you all to think about is what is that number? And I'm going to tell you that number in a second. What is the number that the silent generation and baby boomers actually have in terms of wealth? And I will tell you that it's the largest that has ever been held in history. And that number is $100 trillion. It is a huge amount. Now, the reality is that over the next 20 years, circa 85 trillion is going to be transferred. So this is the largest intergenerational wealth transfer we will see in history.
And if you drop the ball on this opportunity, it is most likely going to be due to lack of research, lack of understanding of what is happening via the infrastructure behind the scenes. So let me show you guys what is taking place from a financial institution's perspective. All right. So first, we're going to listen to Catalin T, Sygnum Head of Investment Research. Take a second and listen here to what she says in a panel discussion that she was on with the Sygnum Chief Investment Officer, Fabian, that took place just a few hours ago. And this video still only has 109 views.
The first point I would like to make is that we are living through the reset of the world economic order and the end of globalization. This is the biggest realignment in the global economic order since the early 1970s.
So now is not the time to just be lollygagging around. It is the time to understand that we are going through a massive shift, not only in the global financial order, but also the wealth transformation that is taking place. With over 84 to 85 trillion dollars of financial assets being transferred from baby boomers over to Gen Zs and millennials over the next 10 to 15 years. This is huge. And at recent panel discussions, like a liquidity conference that took place April 7th, 2025, in Hong Kong, titled Institutional Digital Assets, listen to how the gentleman opens up the conference by mentioning how they are building out a new financial infrastructure with individual participants in the room.
Because I will tell you, it has been a heck of a roller coaster ride that we have been on in the past 6 months. And some people, they are riding that roller coaster up and down. They are sweating it out every day, looking at what is happening in the world of crypto and DeFi. But the people in this room are not riding the roller coaster. The people in this room are thinking longer term. You are building a future that requires deep thinking, that requires you to do hard work to build the future. We are here today because we are the people that are engaged in moving ahead the regulatory environment. We are building the technological infrastructure that is needed for the convergence of DeFi and CeFi, bringing together the worlds of traditional finance and crypto finance and digital assets. The hard work is happening here, and when that work is successful over the long term, the liquidity flows, just like the action is going to flow up here at Liquidity 2025.
So the reason why I'm playing that for you guys is to show you all the energy. Keep in mind, this was just from April 7th, 2025, in the midst of a massive market downturn that we've seen over the past consecutive couple of weeks. Does this individual sound worried to you by any means, presenting to people on stage in this forum? Absolutely not. And so focus in and dial in on what really matters. This is a 6-hour-long conference that has so many gems, and this only has 213 views. Yet again, shows you all that hardly anybody is paying attention to the underlying transformation and are most likely distracted short-term in the moment by fear-based narratives. Block out that noise, do research on projects that are doing nothing but building and solving real-world problems, laying out the underlying infrastructure for these financial institutions to come on board. Now let me prove to you guys that these institutions are 110% coming. Listen to the Signum Chief Investment Officer mention that the mega uptrend in crypto is still intact, even given this most recent market downturn. So that way you all don't think that I'm just making that up, and you can take it from an individual leading expert from a large bank.
Now, where are we going from here? As highlighted by Kathleen, as long as uncertainty regarding the final outcome of the world trade order, its impacts and policy responses prevails, as long as this uncertainty prevails, market will likely remain volatile and susceptible to more drawdowns. However, there are strong indications to believe that the long-term megatrend for crypto assets remains unaffected by the current market volatility.
Right? That is a huge statement coming directly from the Chief Investment Officer at Signum Bank. The long-term megatrend in crypto still remains intact and is unaffected by the short-term market uncertainties. If we head over here, this is a representative from Zodia Custody. Listen to her directly mention that financial institutions like Clearstream are integrating crypto into their back-end infrastructure. Take a second and listen.
So that's pretty much where the banks will be. And as you've heard, a lot of the banks are already getting into this space. So that a lot of them, I think it was in the last presentation, it was Clearstream has already got its permission in Germany. So we're seeing that happening now. So that's why you'll see like the jump for them relatively easy in that respect.
Right. So I just wanted you all to hear her mention that banks are getting involved now. That is happening right now. So anybody that is on the internet pumping out fear, uncertainty, and doubt, telling you guys that banks and financial institutions aren't getting involved in digital assets and attempting to steer your attention away from the underlying infrastructure that's being built out right before our very eyes to support these large banks, You need to ignore them. You need to block out the noise and stay focused and fixated on what truly matters. And that is projects that are building out this infrastructure for financial institutions, partnering with these financial institutions on a granular scale. So now we're going to transition. I have a few more video clips for you guys. So you heard the Zodia custody representative on stage mentioning that banks are coming. It's happening right now, right? She talked about Clearstream, one of the largest financial giants, right, on the face of this planet. Listen to this gentleman from one of the largest banks in Switzerland, 110% confirm that financial institutions are interested and coming into crypto. Take a second here and listen to what he says. This is very, very important.
Put numbers behind what Alessandro just said and give quantifiable measures. How is it going so far? What are the takeaways? Sort of, do you have any metrics for us that you can share regarding, the volume, who are the users that are mostly using the services? I'm very curious, and I think everybody is very curious in the room.
Yeah, usually I have a slide and I can read it from there. So now I have to take it from this paper. Yeah, it's funny.
And make sure you have your pens and papers out so you can take notes.
So it's really funny because a few weeks ago, the University of Lucerne released a study about the typical average crypto investor in Switzerland. And they said this is a male, and it's around 20 years old, and he invests around 1,000 Swissy into a ticket to buy cryptos. After 6 months, we see it a little bit different. So our average crypto client is also male, but is much older, is between 30 and 50 years old. Okay. And the average ticket size is almost 15,000 Swissy. So we have much higher ticket sizes as expected, much higher ticket sizes as in our business case, which is very good. So what you see is that not only retail clients jump into this train, it's also clients from the private banking. And that was a big surprise because our private banking team said, oh no, our clients are not interested. So it's more from the retail side. And what we see now is, oh no, it's coming from the private banking side. Therefore, we have the higher ticket size.
Were you happy to prove them wrong?
Sorry?
Were you happy to prove the private bankers?
Yeah, absolutely.
Say,
absolutely.
I told you so?
That is huge. He literally just said on stage that clients from private banking are integrating into this digital asset space, and that a survey previous to them taking their statistics stated that clients from private banks were not involved in crypto, and their statistics proved otherwise. This 110% proves, blocking out all the noise and all the people that are out there saying that financial participants are not coming in and buying crypto. It completely debunks that, right? And this is again coming from one of the largest financial institutions in Switzerland, telling you guys this on stage. This particular video breakdown has 31 views, people. That's so crazy that only 31 people on this planet have heard from a large financial institution confirmation that clients from private banks are buying into crypto with larger ticket sizes than your average retail investor, right? So as a retail investor, getting confirmation from large financial institutions, what do you think we should be doing? We should be seeing this as a market opportunity. Again, the underlying infrastructure is stronger than ever before. Institutional interest is accelerating at a rapid pace. Regulatory momentum is shifting favorably for the digital asset ecosystem, and political support is quietly but powerfully aligning, right? So now I have 2 more video clips to play for you guys before we jump off here. We're going to head back over here to the Signum representative, Catalin, Signum head of investment research. Listen to what she says when asked the question, would you maintain exposure to the digital asset ecosystem?
I wouldn't cap the upside. I would maintain exposure to the upside. I think as we like to say it, in a liquidity-induced recovery with all the crypto fundamentals not priced in that are specific to crypto will be the fastest horse. I would not, definitely not cap or have a sort of fully market neutral position and protecting the downside. I think Fabian, to some extent, went through this before with the prevailing risks is wise.
When asked the question in terms of portfolio positioning, what is your view? She mentioned that she would maintain exposure to the upside potential in the digital asset ecosystem. Last but not least, we have this gentleman on stage talking about how essential it is for banks to prepare for this massive shift of digital currencies that is coming.
I guess first of all, we believe in the blockchain technology, and we believe in the upcoming shift from traditional to digital assets. So I guess it's absolutely necessary that you are prepared for this moment.
I just want you all to capitalize on the key vocabulary there. He mentions it is absolutely essential that banks prepare for this massive shift. And at the beginning of this, I opened this video today with displaying to you guys Catlin from Signum Bank mentioning that we're in the midst of a massive global shift in the financial order.
We are living through the reset of the world economic order and the end of globalization. This is the biggest realignment in the global economic order since the early 1970s.
You cannot make this stuff up, ladies and gentlemen. I just showed you guys physical proof that financial institutions are 110% interested in onboarding into this digital asset ecosystem. This should alleviate any fear, uncertainty, and doubt that you might have in the short term and paint a very clear long-term projection for you guys that the uptrend in the digital asset ecosystem remains intact. Obviously, of course, assess your risk to the downside. I'm not here saying that the bottom is in. We could definitely experience more short-term market turmoil. However, I will continue to see those discounted opportunities as exactly that, an opportunity to position myself at a discounted price in digital asset projects that I firmly believe are going to solve real world problems in the long term and will turn around and perform extremely well after the market uncertainty in the short term subsides. As always, none of this is financial advice. I'm not telling you guys to go out there and invest in the digital asset landscape. I am, however, asking that you guys do your research, you pay attention to the underlying details, and you focus and dial in on the information that actually matters. If you guys want to tap into these institutional insights, keep in mind all of these things are shared on a consistent day-to-day basis in the CYPRX private Discord. You guys can always tap in with us, lock into this type of research from an institutional standpoint. As always, smash the thumbs up button, subscribe to the platform. If you want to tap in with us, head over to CYPRXtrading.com. With that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video breakdown.